Hey friends, Pastor Michael from Organic Church. We're excited for another season of growing together. We'd love to have you join us on Sunday mornings at 10 or Wednesday evenings at 7 for friends, family, and a whole lot of Jesus.
Now we're on.
Now we're on.
Now you're on. How's everyone's week?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week. Yep.
Roger, how's your week?
Yeah.
Well, actually, Nick, you didn't get to tell Roger why your week's been crazy.
Oh, wife was in the hospital for a couple of days.
Oh.
So
Wow.
we were at Sam's Club on Sunday, and she started having chest pains and discomfort. And we go back to COVID. She had a blood clot in her lung at one point.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a similar kind of thing. And got to be, 3 in the morning on Monday, and she's woke up crying and a lot of pain. And I'm like, well, we got to go. And we got to go to the emergency room, because it would happen to be a blood clot again. That's, you can't fool around with that.
Yeah.
So we get there. They run all the tests necessary to check for the blood clot. All good. But then the doctor comes in. He's like, can't let you go home feeling this way. I never send anybody home sick, so we're going to have to admit you to the hospital.
Mm.
So I think we were in the emergency room from like 5 a.m. until
Noon.
12:30. Yeah, because they said they were going to admit her at 10:30. Well, it was another 2 hours before they actually got her up in her room.
Well, that's typical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally get her in a room, and they did every test known to man. She went through ultrasounds, x-rays, in the end, a stress test, blood work, all that stuff, the complete workup. Everything's good, which, praise the Lord, it wasn't anything serious. But we still don't know exactly why she's feeling that way. So it could be just an extreme case of
anxiety.
That maybe coupled with like heartburn and all those kind of, ingestive issues as far as esophageal and all of those things. So they want her to find a good GI doctor to go to kind of follow up and maybe figure something out. But so 2 days spent in the hospital and no answers.
That stinks. Yeah, you got no answer.
Of course, like I said, praise the Lord, it was nothing serious. But you're always hoping, like Sid and I were talking, it's like, I hope it's nothing, but I hope they find something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something minor, something, a quick fix, so we can get her feeling better again and know why.
Seems like nothing's ever a quick fix.
No.
It always
and you
takes
wonder
time.
sometimes, like, do these doctors just like to run every test just because they can, help out their insurance buddies? I don't know.
I think
But good thing is
society
we had
has
already
done
met
that.
our deductible, so I think we'll be okay.
I think because people have been so quick to sue
Yeah,
that
and
they
I
go in
always,
there and just try to rule out everything.
And I always do hope these doctors are being genuine, like they truly do want to help you, so they don't want to leave anything to chance. They don't want to leave anything out. But I always wonder sometimes, because I've been hearing now, like, oh, she could be deficient in vitamin D, and that could be your whole problem. I'm like, that's kind of like taking your vehicle in for repairs, and you say, well, what's wrong? Well, it's not running. And they don't check the gas first.
Yeah.
Like they don't check the gas tank first. They start with all the big stuff, then work their way down to the small stuff.
Yeah.
But perhaps it's a little different in the medical field. Sometimes you feel that way, though. Like,
I'm sure that if she's established with the doctor that you said she did, that's already been checked.
yeah.
Is she full of gas? Oh. You're not talking about
Might have a point there. Might not be so far away from. Oh man. So yeah. So we, like I said, we were there from 5 a.m. Monday until yesterday around. They finally let her go. I think around 2:30. So.
Well, at least they let her come home.
Yeah.
Well,
of course,
that's too bad you can't find.
Yeah.
I mean.
And they didn't tell her she
something
had to
wrong.
stay until it was getting kind of late in the afternoon. Then they told her she had to spend, because at one point they said, we can't do the stress test until morning. So we don't want you eating after midnight. And she's like, well, that mean I can go home? And they're like, well, no, you have to stay. We have to monitor you. Well, that just crushed her.
Yeah.
She thought she was going home. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. When you're in the hospital and they say, oh, yeah, well, can you go home? Uh-huh. And then 5 minutes later,
Are we recording?
yeah.
Bro didn't even tell us he was leaving. Just walked out. He had the knife with him.
Michael's coming to get the knife off of Roger. Roger just up and bounced.
We're not going to ask what he
Working on
wants the knife
gym.
for.
Makes me a little nervous.
Being passed behind your head.
We got six guys back there working, and one guy has a knife.
Guy has a
Whose fault is that? No.
It's my
It's
knife.
your fault for carrying your own knife.
Aye.
Just can't do anything right.
I tell you.
I'm telling you.
You ought to work back there with them people.
No,
I mean, it's just
I don't want to.
me and Rodney. Yeah, it's
I think we should
terrible.
take this podcast live,
Does it cause a ripple of sin?
on location.
Yeah.
Just go to the gym and
Go to the gym.
get the inside scoop.
Get the scoop.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
We need a wireless situation going on.
Just
Yeah. Okay.
expose them like
We'll have to ask the council.
hard copy. Show even still on. Remember old hard copy?
I don't
I don't know. That was a long time ago. I remember seeing that as a kid when my mom was watching TV. It's just, you know.
So,
But anyway, yeah, so I think all is at least well for now. And the other thing, you know, we're going on vacation to Maine. We leave next Friday. So
maybe that's putting the stress on her. You've got her doing all this extra work and things that she
wait
has
a
to get.
minute.
I was going to ask, are you like the planner for travel or does it just depend?
Usually when it comes to vacations, I plan everything. Now, in this case, we have not had time to really come up with a plan. We have like ideas of what we want to do, but it's not as structured as I would like it to be.
Oh yeah, but them are always the best ones.
And you're right. It might be.
It's just, you
It
know,
might be.
I like to fly with the seat of my pants. You know?
But I at least like to have a general idea. That way we're not all standing around going, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? And you waste time doing that as opposed
What
to
you-
today we're doing this.
Yeah, that's what you say. That's what you say. You know, let's go see the world's largest ball of twine. Okay. That is.
I seen the world's
there is such a
largest
thing.
Jolly Green Giant back in 2022. That was pretty cool.
Was you in Iowa?
Minnesota. Blue Earth, Minnesota.
Well, that's where
That's where
Babe.
Green Giant is.
That's
man.
right. Well, Babe lives there too.
Who?
Babe, the blue ox.
Oh,
Yeah, didn't see that. So yeah, so we're excited, but we feel a little.
And Beth is over there rolling her eyes.
Well, and of course, you know, the big anxiety is the cats.
Well, yeah. Well,
cats.
maybe that's what threw her into her.
Yeah, she's scared to death to leave her cats behind. We have her
Cat lady?
I think her cousin's coming over to take care of them while we're gone. They should be fine, but yeah, if she's worried about
which
that.
cousin?
Um,
I'll tell you if they'll be fine or not.
I think they will. Her name escapes me right now.
Okay, got
But
it.
I think she'll be okay. Yeah, because she's a crazy cat lady too.
Oh, well then,
so
yeah,
she'll be
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Are you taking Maggie with you?
Yeah, the whole family. Yeah, it's gonna be a big group. Staying in a house, bed or not a bed and breakfast, but a help me out.
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Good job, Roger.
See, I'm up on it.
The
I'm
bed's
up
like
on it.
8 people, and so yeah, the house will be full, and should be a good time. But she's a little nervous about leaving the cats. One has to actually stay the whole week at the vet's because it needs insulin twice a day. You know, so have to make sure that he's well taken care of.
Oh.
So yeah, we're kind of coming up on a week now, and I don't want to say nervous about it, but just like I said, usually I know exactly what we're doing, when we're doing it.
What part of Maine are you going to?
Near Bar Harbor, so it's close to like Bangor and close to Arcadia National Park, which is what we'll be doing. So that should be a good time, and it should be just the leaves should be turning
I was gonna say,
or have
yeah.
already turned. That's what that's why we picked the dates we did, because everybody says you have to go to Maine when the leaves have turned.
Yeah.
So we'll go up there and hopefully we'll get some good seafood. They
Have you
say
been
it's-
up in that area before?
No, this will be my first time.
Oh, we went
Start
to
praying about the traffic now.
Oh boy.
we went to
But I think we're
Bay.
going above Boston. Like I don't think
Okay.
I think we're going to avoid that. So we should be okay.
You
Because we're going to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame in New York. So that's,
So you'll pass like Buffalo.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cooperstown.
Yeah. So we're going to go there for a day. And then,
Cooperstown.
Yeah.
yeah. And then we are going to swing over to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, you're going to see the witches?
Yeah. So we'll see all that history.
That'll be
Yeah.
cool.
And then we'll go up to Maine from there. So we'll get to do a couple things because it's like, what is it, 18 hours? 18-hour drive to Maine. So we're going to break it up.
Yeah.
Because I am too old to be doing
Did,
straight shots
yeah.
anymore.
Do they still have that living history village there in Salem?
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool to go.
Yeah, you can go in and see all the old houses. I think like Nathaniel Hawthorne, the famous writer,
Yeah.
his house is there. You could tour that if you want to. So it's just not the witch thing. They have all sorts of different, a lot of history there. Being, colonial,
Yeah.
old colonial town. So I'm interested in seeing the old graveyard. I love seeing them old, because they've got the ones from like the late 1600s,
Yeah.
1700s.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty neat.
The settlement.
Yeah, you got right.
Settlement cities.
Yeah.
Villages.
So looking forward to that. But gotta get ready.
Yeah. Well, we'll be praying for Margie. You'll have to keep us updated.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was sick.
Well, like I said, we were in church Sunday. I believe she was good. She hadn't really complained about anything. We got to Sam's Club, and all of a sudden she was, like I said, she had to sit down, and I just went downhill from there.
Now it's all uphill.
Well, and the thing about it was everybody in our family, well, not everybody, but my stepson, his wife, the baby, they all had this terrible stomach bug. It lasted 24 to 48 hours, but I guess it was terrible. Well, Margie goes over there to help them out for a little bit, and she came home, and she did get some of those symptoms, but not as bad. So at first we thought, well, maybe it's something to do with that. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when she gets sick, they even tested her for COVID. Mm-hmm. So they tested her for that, and that's why we were worried about it being the blood clot. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's good.
Always something.
Sure is.
Yes.
Sure is.
Your son made it home, and
Yes, I think he flew home, not in a plane, in his car, because he left our house at 7:30 Friday morning, and at it was like 6:20, I got a text message. I'm home. So.
And that's even more impressive with the time change, right? Because he's going back.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the time change.
Yeah, he's back an hour,
Yeah. Yeah.
2 hour, an hour, 2 hour, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, I says, would you do fly? Because I called him in. He said, no. He said, I didn't fly. He said, I just ran the speed limit. I said, you know, you can go to hell for lying, just stealing, don't you? He just kind of chuckled.
that was his wife with him?
No.
No.
She had to work, and his son wanted to come, but he had school, so he was a little upset that he couldn't come. But he said he really enjoyed the podcast.
Oh, good.
That's good.
He said it was nice to put a face to their names and people talking and that stuff. He said it was. Tell you the truth, I'm surprised that he listens.
Yeah.
So
That's neat.
that's a blessing.
Yeah.
It sure is. That's
I
what it's
would
all
say.
about. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was a great episode. I wish we could do more of that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we come in here scripted or anything, because we
No.
don't.
Oh, that's for sure.
But we generally have an idea what we want to talk about, and it's usually topic based, and we're all pulling things from the Bible. But to actually have somebody sit here and kind of express their experience of what they're going through and what they've, faced in their lives. I mean, that just makes it even more,
real.
Yeah, it just makes it more real and just more. It really hits you. It hits you different.
Yeah,
and he didn't shut you down.
Mm-mm.
He listened.
Yeah,
through.
he did.
Shut you down.
He listened to me for a long time.
Really?
We all did, Nick.
Yeah, I didn't go to sleep.
Yeah. Well,
No, that was.
I was
Hey, he needed to hear it from somebody else.
And it was nice. It was nice he was even able to come in as vulnerable as he did.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah,
and I think it
says
helped.
a lot about his character.
Yes.
That he could sit here and listen. Because that's always a touchy subject. The first thing people can say is, well, you haven't experienced what I've experienced. How could you possibly know? How could you, who are you to tell me? A lot of people can take that attitude.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, it's a really sign of somebody who is, even though he's expressed some doubts, you can tell that he does have some spiritual maturity, that he can sit and listen to somebody, and he's not that type that, that
He's going to shut you down or
and he doesn't
roll his eyes.
He doesn't use his own bad experiences to make excuses or
right.
say, well, what could you possibly, tell me, what could I possibly learn from you? You haven't been through what I've been through. Like I said, you can hear that a lot in people. And
I believe he knows in his knower. He's just trying to put the pieces together.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
he wants the answers of why.
Yeah.
And when God gives him those, then I think you'll see the complete change.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think there's definitely a spiritual maturity there that, he's just, everybody wants answers to certain things. We all go through that, if you have.
Sometimes there are no answers.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Really?
But that's just
Yeah.
where, just your trust in God comes in. That's where, if you're mature enough to really accept the will of God and tell him that. I've said it many times with my dad. That was the first time, and I think I needed that. And I don't want, sometimes I think, well, was that all supposed to happen? Because it wasn't until that happened that I truly realized that I could trust the Lord completely. Because instead of going down, to the, down to pray and be like, why God is this happening? And please don't take him. And, there was no begging. It was, I don't want him to go, but I trust you completely that you have this handled, and whatever happens is your will. And I never felt so much peace in my life. I was able to handle that situation from that point forward with a whole different kind of strength because I just gave it to him. And that's in any experience, I think, no matter how severe it is, you have to get to that point where you totally give it up to him. You don't try to control the events. You don't try to impress your will upon him. You accept his. And it just gives you this completely different strength and confidence and peace, that can really get you through a lot of tough situations, as opposed to, begging your way through it or,
I see that with Jarvie. He was raised in church until he was old enough to tell his mom, I'm not going no more.
Yeah.
But it took the loss of his son, my stepson, in that auto accident to get us back in church.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes it's, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And
my husband believes in his heart that that's why things happened the way they did.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, my dad passed, I think, that fall before COVID really hit. And I'm telling you, my dad could not have lived through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of anything physical, but because he loved people so much. He loved to hug people. He loved to be close to people, help them. He walked the ladies at the hospital out to their cars every single night. It's just who he was. I don't think he could have handled the, 6-foot space between people and not allowed to engage people or be around people. He wasn't meant for COVID. So it to me, it was almost like, yeah.
He probably would have went insane. I mean,
He probably
not
would have.
maybe literally too. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it just would not have been. It would have took so much away from who he was and what he does, especially since my mom had passed, and after his retirement, he still volunteered at the hospital because he loved to do it. He loved to help people. He thought that was a worthy thing to be doing, and so he wouldn't have been. During that time, they didn't have those volunteers. So he would have had to stay home and do nothing. And I think that would have drove him crazy.
Yeah.
So, so really, I do think it was God's timing. And it's certainly for me and for me personally, it just, there was just something about that. Just like I said, totally trusting him and just for the first time, quit making excuses, quit trying to enforce your will upon God. Just let him do his thing. Even if it's going to be one of the worst experiences of your life, sometimes you got to give it up to him.
Yep.
And everything else from there, no matter what happens, it just seems like it fits.
And as we talked last week, it's easy to lay it down and surrender it all to him, but then to pick it back up.
Yeah.
When you truly just surrendered it and
I did.
trust in him.
Yeah. And it just really helped me through the whole process of planning the funeral and doing all those things. I mean, I even spoke at my dad's funeral, and I still have a lot of people like, there's no way I could ever do that. There's no way I could get up there and talk at my parents' funeral. But I just had that peace. And I just felt like, that's something I wanted to do for my father.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Who else?
Just like
no
I
one
rode
else
through
better
that.
to do it,
Yeah. So yeah, it just gave me a whole new, outlook and confidence, and I know trials of that kind will come again, and honestly, I'll be interested to see how I handle it, the next time. But I think I will. I think I will handle it the same way because I've seen it. I've seen what that does personally when you're in one of those situations. So to me, it's a major step in your relationship with God is when you're like, okay, yep, I'm just going to trust you with this.
Yeah.
No, we're
Go
going to
ahead.
throw you under the bus here. Not throw you on the bus, but what's your topic for tonight?
Oh, well, we've all been through it's been a pretty, what would you say? What kind of week has this been in our world?
Trying,
Chaotic. There's probably a few words you could use.
I'd say eye-opening. It's
Yeah,
given me
I guess I'm looking for a more classy word than eye-opening, but I said I posted it online. And we're all talking about Charlie Kirk, and there's if you're on social media at all, it's no surprise that this thing has gotten completely out of control. I mean, the amount of conspiracy theories that have already been introduced.
Yeah.
If you ever wondered what the assassination of JFK would have been like in our times, well, we're finding that out.
Yeah.
It's just crazy every day. Just there's more and more theories and, videos that come up trying to convince you that this happened or didn't happen, or he's still alive, or that really isn't him in the casket. That, that's not his wife, Erica, standing up there speaking, to the nation. I mean, it's just crazy. The amount of garbage that you get exposed to on social media. And now don't get me wrong, there is also a lot of great things coming out of it. I'm still very concerned of what the effects of all this is going to be in the end. But I will say that I'm very proud and happy to see that a lot of people we've seen a lot of good come out of this. We've seen, the amount of people that are going back to the church for the first time since his death, and just the inspiration that it has had on people is truly amazing. So there's going to be plenty of bad things that come out of it, but it is very nice to see that, there's people really standing up, and it's giving people the inspiration to really start speaking their minds about how they feel spiritually instead of hiding it and, thinking that it's not something you're supposed to talk about with other people.
Yeah.
And I think we're realizing that, no, that's probably one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Is to be able to talk spiritually with people. And I, for me, I posted online. To me, my anger about it and my disappointment with it is not political. If he was just a politician, I mean, I could still see, the validity in all this. But for me, it's the fact that, they killed a servant of the Lord. They killed a brother of the cross. And they killed a soldier of the army of the living God. And that's just the way I see it. That, to me, is the most important thing about it, and that's the thing that everybody should be concerned about the most. That is what we lost, as a person, and what his mission was in life. That's what we left here have lost. Politicians are made and broke every single day. But somebody like that just doesn't come around, but once a century.
Yeah.
I really think. I mean, to be as young as he was, and again, you can argue politics, whether you agreed with his politics or not. I mean, everybody knows, yes, he was a staunch Republican, conservative, all of those things. But he spent more time talking about Christ than I think anybody that I'm aware of, especially for that age group, to bring so many young people to it.
Yeah,
definitely.
was just really something. And as the old saying goes, you don't know what you got till it's gone. It's just, you're finding out just how many young people did look up to him. And sometimes we think, where's this young generation going? We just don't know what they're thinking. They're just, you tend to put them all in a box. But then you realize that there are still a lot of good young, up-and-coming people out there that do love Christ, that do have that in their heart, that are building their lives on that principle, and they're active in it, and they're willing to stand up for that. So that's refreshing to see, because, like I said, I think a lot of times we focus on the bad with our generation, with all the social media and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I just thought it, that was my whole, that's what I'm feeling about the whole situation. And, you got a lot of people who, they love Charlie Kirk, but you can already tell, like, they're letting their anger get the best of them. They're so angry about it that, they want retribution. Yeah. They don't want justice. Yeah. They want retribution. And it's like, would Charlie do that? Right. What would Charlie tell you? It wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Almost like Michael said Sunday.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. What did he say? It wasn't to compare. It was to, or what? Gosh, does anyone remember what he was saying?
I don't remember. I know I remember him saying something, but I forget what he called it.
Basically, like, if you take my eye, I'm just going to take your eye. Like, I'm not going to take your arm. That might be more useful. Like, if you're
Farmer.
Yes, a farmer, a tradesman who uses their hands. Like, it was more to be equal. Right. But we can't look at it, we can't look at it that way, because at the end of the day, like, sin is sin. Yeah. No matter how big or how small. Like, right. Yeah, I think there will be more consequences for something such as murder, but it's also, sin is sin, and each and every one of those sins, is just separating you from God, so it's like, yeah, there's no other way to look at it. Like, I don't want people like, oh, well, he needs to have the death penalty and this and that. Well, who are you to tell and say that, I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody deserves safety. Everybody deserves justice. Everybody deserves, to hear, to have their voice heard. But you have to let that justice be God's will. You can't take it upon yourself.
Yeah.
You can't retribution solves nothing. Because then that just puts you on equal footing with the people that did this.
Mm-hmm.
You end up being no better than the people who did this, and it doesn't solve a thing.
Nope.
So you do have to trust in the Lord that true justice, will be served. Yes, in America we do have a process. And unfortunately, it is a process that can lead to the death penalty. When I look at that kid, I'll be honest, I don't see an evil person. I see a person who's been misled. That is my ultimate thought on that, because I'm thinking, this kid has his whole life in front of him. You're 22 years old. What possibly could have he had to fill himself with such evil or hate that he would kill somebody? And you listen to the stories of his family and where he came from and how he may have been just a year ago and where he is now, you think that kid shouldn't be in this position.
Mm-mm.
But I think there was outside sources, outside influences
Right.
that were leading him into this trap.
And unfortunately, that happens a lot to college students. So,
right.
I definitely think they have the right to be able to form their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But, for anyone listening, like, just keep an eye out on the ones that are going to college, and like when they're home for Thanksgiving, like, just still talk with them about their morals and their principles. Cause I can remember a local pastor, he's not here anymore, but his daughter, she went away and, came home, and it was like, I think it was Christmas break during COVID. And she was kind of like just talking all about oppression and like, and she was almost getting too influenced, and he kind of had to bring her down a step or two. And, he's like, well, you are right in thinking this, but it's also, this is what the Bible says. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to steer away from, what you were taught growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely something touchy. Cause again, I think they should have their opinions. And I mean, my opinions have changed since I was, 16 or 17 on some certain things, but I didn't go so far right to left within a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, two extremes.
Well, you had mentioned his name that last week, and I'm like, I don't know him. But then once I seen his face, I'm like, oh yeah. I've watched him, and just didn't have a name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I just, and this is, we talk about empathy, and like I said, when I look at the kid, I feel sorry for him. I feel, I just think it's so unfortunate that a kid that young with everything in front of him somehow got this idea in his head that this was either going to change the world for his,
agenda.
his agenda, his situation, or his partner's situation. And if he did have accomplices, it seems as though, well, they're leaving him to the wolves. Ain't nobody else going to come forward and say, I helped him, or, so it's very tragic, that, just such a young kid would, find reason to do this. Because his, it's just ruined his life, and it's probably his parents' life, and of course, Charlie Kirk's family and everybody that loved him. And when you asked me about my topic, I said something last week, and, sometimes you say things that I didn't mean to say it. I didn't plan to say it. But I said, every sin has this ripple effect,
Mm-hmm.
the ripple of sin.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us don't think about it. But I think about it just like throwing stones
Mm-hmm.
in a lake. You can pick up the smallest pebble,
Yeah.
throw it in, and those ripples are still going to go out.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to go out very far. Sometimes when you sin and you throw the smallest stone out there, well, it might only affect you in some unfortunate way, or just some way that sets you back with the Lord. But the more you sin, or the bigger the sin, now you're throwing a bigger rock in,
Mm-hmm.
the ripples go out farther. So then not only...
More people you hurt.
Yeah.
Not only now are you
More
hurting
people it
yourself,
affects.
Yep.
but now you're hurting the other people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you could pick up the biggest boulder you can find, and we've all done that as kids. You love to find the biggest rock and toss it into the lake, and it creates a huge splash.
Yeah.
So chaotic that you don't even know where the ripples begin and end.
Yeah.
Complete chaos, and that's, unfortunately, in this situation, that was a big boulder that was thrown into the lake. Like the sin of what's happened here has just been so great that it's just made everything so chaotic.
Yeah.
But you see what's happening is there's a lot of people out there that mean well right now by standing up for Charlie Kirk and his family. But they're being hit by that boulder
Yeah.
to the point where they want retribution.
Yes.
They want to lash out in anger.
Yeah.
They want to get their own kicks in with these people. They want to hunt these people down.
Yeah.
Anybody that's from the left, they want to hunt them down like dogs and kill every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you go back to empathy. You could be like, yep, well, I understand where they're coming from. I can understand why some people would be that angry. But if you go back and listen to Charlie Kirk, you're like, you cannot come to that conclusion. That will solve absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But you do see that just, again, how chaotic everything is that the sin is so great that look how it's affecting the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, like we say all the time, like, what would Jesus do? Like, you can definitely put that into this, like Jesus probably would not be trying to get, quote unquote, get back with them. Like, he would be trying to love people more than anything during this time. Like, he wouldn't be trying to do all these things, that everyone's trying.
Yep.
Not everyone, but yeah.
Well, there's just so many innocent people that could get caught up in this.
Mm-hmm.
More innocent people could die based on somebody's reaction to this whole thing, and they think they're doing it out of love. They think they're doing it out of a just cause. They're thinking like it's time. We need to, enough's enough, and this is how we need to approach it.
And I mean, let's just say, like, that's exactly how. What was his name? Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how he looked at it.
That's
why
the
he
point
did
he
it.
got to.
Mm-hmm.
Was in his mind enough was enough, and he felt that was going to solve his problem, or that he thought he could do this and get away with it, and somehow it was going to make his situation greater, that it was going to put get somebody out of the way so that their situation, their movement could go farther.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's sitting in a jail cell in a anti-suicide vest. Having somebody tell him that, we're going to put you to death.
Yeah.
And some people say, they even got a firing squad as one of those options.
That's what I read.
And it's like I said, this is a kid, that it's hard to fathom.
A mixed up kid. Very mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to remind ourselves that, like I said, everybody, we all deserve safety and justice for something like this.
Yeah.
You can't let everything go unpunished. There has to be a punishment. There has to be, society. You do have to keep society under control together. Yeah. There are rules to the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to let justice take its proper course. You can't take it into your own hands, because then, it just does become retribution. So it just, people, we all have to realize that at the end of the day, that we are subordinate to God and His will. No matter how angry we are, no matter how much we don't understand, no matter how much we want results, and we want to get those results by our own hand, whatever you're doing, you have to stop and say, I'm subordinate to God and His will. I can't go out and inflict the same harm and pain on somebody else to, that's just revenge.
And at the end of the day, that's you feeding your flesh.
Yeah.
Your flesh is the one that wants to do that.
Yeah.
And
that's just throwing more boulders into that lake. That's just going to keep on going. That ripple effect is just going to keep on going, touch more and more people. And in the end, it's not going to solve a thing.
No.
We want this. We want to come out of this with a brighter idea of who Christ is and His love, and we're only going to get that if we're subordinate to His will, and we wait for His timing for justice to take place, and it takes the proper course. So and overall, it does seem like most people. It is really just great to see how many people are coming together for candlelight vigils, and everything has been peaceful. And but there are those, there's plenty of things out there as well. Just people just getting really angry and wanting to just, again, say enough is enough. But yeah, that's not what we want as American people. That's not the course we want to take. And God's not going to bless us through this if that's the course we take. And that's what so many people don't understand is this country is blessed for a reason. And it's because when we founded this country, we based it on Christian principle. Whether people want to admit to that or not. And I do support the idea of the separation of church and state. I understand why that's in there, because you can't have people being persecuted for their religious beliefs.
Right,
you just can't. But the central idea, in fact, is that this country was founded on Christian principles. And we have to remember that. And if we keep going against God, then He's not going to continue to bless us. We've seen things in our past where it's been clear, like God is trying to tell us that we are not going in the direction we're supposed to be going in.
Yeah.
And it's, if we haven't learned by now, when are we going to learn? So, that's what I would say to anybody who has those thoughts in their mind about, retribution and, we want to get after these people as soon as we can. And that's not God's will. It's just not. And a lot of people will probably be angry with me for saying that, because they think, well, you're weak because you're not willing to go out there and finally say enough is enough and take action. A lot of people would probably say, well, that's just because, you're a weak Christian. You're not tough enough to, get the job done. But that's not the right answer.
No, sure.
No. I will tell anybody that
No.
No matter, that is not the right answer.
Willing to wait for the Lord to see what He's going to do, what He wants done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me. I read somewhere that said, if Tyler does repent, and God can forgive him, and He will forgive him, but the actions that he took, like those will still continue to play out and affect others and other things,
effect, yes.
even after he repents, if he ever does.
Right. Yeah, sin is sin, and once it's out there, that's the whole nature of our world.
Well, we're all living in sin from the sin that
Adam and Eve.
Yeah, that
first ones.
That stone being thrown into the lake is still having its effects today.
Yeah.
It's still going out. Still, that's the way you have to look at it. Every time you think you're gonna, and it could be just something very simple that you think only affects you. but you don't realize at the end of the day, like, how far it can go.
Yeah.
Because it may withhold you from being a better Christian, which will then withhold you from going out, seeking other people, helping other people. Because, like I said, it could be something so insignificant that you don't think is much of a problem. You can handle your problem. You know, I got it. But a lot of times you don't realize it. If it's holding you back and you can't get out there and do God's work, then, you know, sometimes if somebody's throwing that stone into the lake, you can reach your hand out and catch it before it hits the water.
Yeah.
If you're out there
prepared,
if you're out there doing the work, if you're out there speaking to people, you might prevent that person from throwing that stone in the lake. But if you're not, then yeah, that's all the more, you know, people that are not being led to Christ, which is why I think, you know, that Tyler Robinson, that's why he's in the place he's in the first place, is because nobody was leading him to Christ. He wasn't either willing or able to listen, and started listening to another voice. And that's just the reality of it. If he was listening to God truly with the word, he wouldn't be in this position right now. Mm-mm. It's just the way it is. But oftentimes we just, like I said, especially in young people, you get so caught up in, you know, the world around you and other people, and you can, you know, it's cliche to say, but you can get in with the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, you know, you're already looking for something, and you think you found it.
Yeah.
In some of these causes and some of these situations, and it can, for a young person, it can leave an imprint very quickly and change somebody's course. And I think that was, you know, Charlie's mission, is he was trying to get a lot of these young people, these college kids, to come to Christ early. He wanted to get the idea in their head that what God wants for you is to go out, have a family,
right?
You know, build that family.
Yeah. Feel that love from that family. Yeah.
And that security and that purpose.
Because, I mean, they say all the time, you don't know love until you have your own family. And it's so true. And these young kids don't realize that. And they're never going to realize it until they have their own family. Yeah. You know?
And it's like I said, and they're, you know, it's easy to take it for granted being young.
Yeah.
So this is not a, like, I'm not talking down to young kids, but you can take a lot for granted when you're a kid, when you've had it good your whole life and haven't really experienced much trouble or anxiety, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, you know, young people do need to realize that you can't sit on your phone for 12 hours a day bed rotting.
Yeah.
It's become a new term.
Yeah.
Bed rotting.
Yep.
Bed rotting.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody that stays just on their phone for 10 plus hours a day, just surfing social media.
Yes.
Earl. URL.
Remember?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm thinking, what's he talking about? Now I got it.
Oh, man. So that's what Charlie was trying to do. He was just trying to get these young people right out of college to decide that, you want to believe in God, you want to go out and you want to start a family, be productive. Don't let foolish things, you know, like drinking and drugs and all these things to set you back and keep you from your true purpose. And the amazing thing is he did it. I mean, the work that he was able to accomplish in a short life, it was amazing. And it's going to be a huge loss for, you know, the young community around the country to not have that leadership, which, you know, comes to the next important part of this whole thing is we can't let this stop us from our purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Which all goes back to, okay, what are we going to decide to do? Are we going to decide to take retribution and revenge, and we're going to show them, you know? And hey, there is plenty of argument, which I cannot completely turn a blind eye to, and that is, you do seriously wonder if there is a group of people in this country that truly want evil to persist, and on, you know,
Well, that's
and,
true.
And so then you have to think, okay, so what are we supposed to do then? We do have to stand up and fight these people. We do have to stand up for God. We can't just lay back and let these people continue to do this. But I think the idea is, we can't do it by their means. If they were willing to go out and kill this man to serve their purpose, well, obviously it didn't work. I think we've already, seen that wasn't the answer to that. The best thing that we can do is continue to do what Charlie was going to continue to do, and that's reach people from a young age, or people that have never thought about Christ before, actually see Christ for who he truly is, and get these people to follow him. Because the more people in this country that we have that are church-based, that have a family, that's what's going to destroy whatever group of people this is, because then we're going to be too strong for them to survive. Yeah. We're going to squeeze them out. They're just not going to be able to survive in a society that is church-based, family-based. They'll just be weeded out very quickly, and that movement will die. It just will. But if we start the violence, if we start, learning from them, we're always going to be doing this. It's always going to be even, and we're never going to see an end to it. So that's where we have to be as a society, is willing to say that we are going to be in the majority. And no matter how many people get lost in these other ideas, it can't survive. And God will continue to bless us.
I just wish they knew why we were trying so hard. We're trying to win your hearts over. Dang it. You know what I mean?
We're not trying to make your
I'm
life...
not trying to shove my belief system down your throat. I care about you. Oh, I've got a cousin, and and I can have this conversation with her. We can be civil, and she'll message me, and she's worried about her sister, because her sister is a Christian, and she's 17, her sister is. And she's like, Sid, I want you to look out for her, because I know you're, quote, one of the good ones. I'm like, wait, what? Wait a minute.
Say that one more time.
I must be one of the bad ones.
And I'm one of the good ones as far as the Christians around this area are. And she's like, I just don't want her being caught up in different crowds, and she thinks a lot of things are very culty, and honestly, I don't know where she gets these feelings that are so strong, because I know her upbringing. Not all of it. I don't know what it went on in closed doors all the time, but I was pretty close with her growing up, and I just don't know what went wrong.
Well, but the thing is, I think we underestimate the power of the social media. We underestimate the power of a celebrity. That can have such a strong impression on a young mind.
Yeah. And I mean, and to be fair,
because you get to the ages of 13 and 14 where kids, they instinctively want to rebel in some form against their parents and their upbringing. It's just, it's almost like, it's the sin of the earth. I don't know if it's science, what it is, but it just seems to be that, kids can... They want to lose a part of their dependence on their parents, and they want to do it on their own and come up with their own ideas. Yeah, and so it's very easy. And
maybe
with social
that
media, it's just they can't get away from it.
Yeah, and honestly, that could be very true with her, because I do see that she,
I've said it before. For me, I'm thankful that when I was 10. I was listening to Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's who I grew up with. And he could sing songs about love and this or that, but he always had those songs about humanity and what we were supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be treating each other. And so we grew up with that idea of it, because we're young and impressionable, and we all looked up to him.
Yeah.
So if he says it, It's got to be true.
Yeah.
It's got to be true.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he understood the responsibility that he had on young people, and for his power of his celebrity and who he was in trying to inspire people. He understood that. We're getting to, we don't see that right now, I don't think, in music and celebrities, things like, I don't think we see any of that.
No.
It's very different. Like most of the young musicians and their songs, I don't even know what they're about, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's nothing good. Like they're never trying to, I think, be a true role model for younger people.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're selling as much garbage as they can and trying to be as impressionable as they can, and they're trying to shock as many people as they can, and that's where it's gotten to. It's not even about the craft anymore and the art of it.
Right? Yeah.
It's just, what can we do next to upset people or push the envelope?
Yeah, or
and
headline.
Outdo the next person. And they don't realize how much of an effect it has on these young kids, especially young females. I think right now, the young females probably are getting more impression than anybody right now. Female artists and musicians right now, it's not good.
Yeah.
We had Madonna, but even then it was kind of like, but Madonna even still would sing something that you could tell was meaningful. Or, so she pushed the envelope, but it's still not the same. I mean, now it's just like every single artist it's all sexual based. It just is. It's all from their image to all the songs that they sing. It's all sexual based. And when they sing it, it's like they have no feeling about it at all.
Yeah, about the.
There's no. It's not like the love songs we had in the 80s and the 90s. It doesn't even mirror that at all. It's just like they do not care about the emotions of the other people at all, and unless they're trying to push these agendas.
Yeah. And
then you can see that, wow, they're really trying to, push these certain agendas that, again, also aren't good for young people. So it's just, I get it, how a kid can get very quickly wrapped up in all of these things. I mean, because like I said, at least we could shut the TV off and go outside and play, or our parents would force us to shut it off.
Right.
But now they just can't get away from it.
No.
It's always in their hand.
Yeah.
Even our school systems, they're all using computers, iPads, this and that. But
their brain is not working the way it's supposed to work at that young age. It's not working to find answers, to seek things. It's just all being poured on them.
Yeah.
And most of it is just such useless information. But like I said, their brain, when we said bed rotting, that's what they're doing. Their brain is not, it's not even functioning properly. It's on autopilot.
Yeah.
Like they're looking at all this stuff, but they're not exercising their brain. It's just, and that's what's happening. It's, they're getting, and that I think it gets to the point where they can't make their own decisions because their brain's not working that way. It's not working independently. So how could their brain come up with independent decisions?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just can't, because the brain doesn't operate that way. And when you start that young, guess what? That's the way the brain develops, by learning, by approaching, by seeking.
Yep.
But they're taking that all away from them to where their brain's just on autopilot all the time. And it's just an infinite amount of just
knowledge that they don't know what
it's
to
kind of
do
just like, remember when back in the old days, Roger, when the TV would just kind of like,
and then you had to get up and adjust the rotor.
Yeah. But I think that's what their brain is.
Yeah.
Like. It's just on that channel.
Oscillating.
Yeah. You just can't get it off now.
Yeah.
You talk about, the kids not really knowing anything. I took a test Monday. And this is from our government. And there were 60 questions. I was kind of impressed at the end, but they says, would you consider being a dance instructor? Not lately. Would you proofread a play, not lightly, would you, there were 60 questions. And each one of them, it was, I should have took a picture of it.
Was it like a survey? Like
no.
I would somewhat do it, or
it was.
I would really do this.
It was absolutely not.
Okay.
Dislike. Don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And maybe.
Okay.
Something I don't know. It was multiple, and this was from our government. Absolutely worthless. But I was kind of impressed because they give you a little pie chart at the end. And I'm pretty well rounded because all of the
I know what you mean. Like if you would be a creative
creative writer, edit a book,
good with your hands,
yep. And I was pretty impressed with my pie chart. But I mean, it was pretty dumb. I mean, what's a 75-year-old guy want to go out and do a book or learn dance instructor?
Yeah. I want to see your dance moves.
Oh, okay.
Dancing with the Stars started last night. You could start watching that and take some tips.
I'll tell you what. Next time you see my wife, ask her about my dance pupils.
Okay, I will.
Your dance pupils?
Yes.
Are they the dogs?
No. She'll be on some of those stupid reels, and there'll be an old lady dancing, really, really well. She thought she was dancing. And my wife will holler, "Honey, come here." I said, "What?" She says, "Look at this." I said, "Oh." She says, "Is this one of your pupils?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, she was first in her class." But as soon as I read that question, I thought, okay, sure. No, but it was, I mean, and going back to, the kids in school, they don't think about anything, and why in the world would the government give you this test? Because it's the dumbest test in the world. Mm-hmm. But
yep.
Some, and the worst part is, supposedly some intelligent person made this test up.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I thought it was useful.
Yeah. This is really going to be useful in our society.
We're really going to figure it out now.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the ASVAB test, like testing you on your, not on your skills. It wouldn't test you on your skills. It would almost test you on your personality. And where you would.
But this should have been testing you on your skills, not your.
You weren't at the unemployment office, were you?
I plead the fifth. How did you guess?
That would make sense. It just hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's. Yeah, mm-hmm. Like they're going to say, "Oh, well, yeah, we have this dance class that they need an instructor, and you can start right away." Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can do the moonwalk. Yeah,
well, I'm going to try to get us back on track. I'll try.
Okay.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? You can moonwalk?
No. Do you know who invented the dance, the worm?
Gene Kelly, I don't know.
No, it was a mechanic. They were crawling underneath of a truck in the mud, and they had to worm underneath the truck so they could get to it to work on it.
Makes sense to me.
I'm sure it wasn't a dance move at first. I'm sure he was just like trying to get in to work on it.
But then some state employee saw him and said, "Wow, that would be a great dance move."
Can we trademark it?
Meanwhile, go ahead, Sid.
Okay, all right. Rippling effect. So I was looking up
Rippling effect?
Rippling effect of sin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I looked up to see if we had any scriptures to base it off of, and I found Exodus 34. We'll start at 7. I lavish unfailing love to 1,000 generations. I forgive iniquity, rebellion, and sin, but I do not excuse the guilty. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children and grandchildren. The entire family is affected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generations. Mm-hmm. To piggyback off of that, there is actually a study now that is proving that. It's, was it epigenetics is what it is. And it's, basically they had a good example stating like people, it would be someone's great-great-grandchild of the Holocaust, like a survivor. Mm-hmm. They are having dreams of these concentration camps and, all this, all this going on when they've never been there. They've never, seen never this real life, nothing. Huh. But this is literally in their DNA. So it's like, and it almost also piggybacks off of like the generational trauma. Like you can break those generational curses, and it's like, the faster you do it, the better it is going to be for your family. Like it's like if no one believes the Bible per se, like this Exodus verse, look at the scientific studies that are saying so. Mm-hmm. It's literally embedded in your DNA.
What if you don't know the curse, though?
If you don't know the curse?
Yeah.
You don't know the source of
the source
the original.
Well, I mean, I think you can still break it if you don't know the source.
Well, I think what he's trying to say is, by following the Lord, you don't necessarily have to know the details.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But you do have to at some point say, yes.
Enough is enough.
I'm going to follow the Lord.
Yep.
I'm going to, Yeah. I think that's...
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if generation after generation keeps accepting...
And being a product of their environment.
The same sin, the same problems that we're having, the same retribution and revenge and all of those things, if we keep on just doing it over and over and over, which is why I always say, a lot of people's like, history's dumb. It's boring. Yeah, well, guess what? Everybody needs to know where they came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you don't want to repeat the same mistakes, then you need to know where you came from and what's gone before you. So that's another point to it is, as a country, we have to realize when we've done things wrong, when we made mistakes. We have to be willing to admit those mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. But move forward in the way that God would want us to.
Yeah.
But if we just keep on going down the same path, like she said, generation after generation after generation, we'll have to pay the price. We pass it down, and that's, again, that ripple effect. We pass that sin down, and the more that we keep doing it, we just keep passing it further and further and further. And the only way to stop it is the way of the Lord. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing else, no other good deeds or trying to cover it up or, come up
toughing it out,
coming up with a new system, trying to replace the old system. Politically, economically, all of those things. Yeah, we all need those things, but if it's not Christ-centered,
right,
you're going to have the same. Yeah, you're going to have the same
different situation, same result.
Yeah. You're going to have, the same political, help me out here.
Garbage.
Yeah. You're just going to have just trash. All the things that we think that our government's doing this and doing that, and let's face it. Sure, there's a lot going on that.
Yeah. A lot of useless information going out.
Yeah. Yep.
And some of it's being retained by people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where all the problem starts.
You know me, I'll point right back to the Civil War. We fought that war for 4 years. And God showed his hand. And through Lincoln. It was like, if we want to keep on fighting this war, and you want to keep on honoring this sin, which is slavery, then this war will go on until every lash has been paid back.
Yeah.
Is the way that it's going to go. And we end that war, and we think we're going to honor God, and we're going to do the right thing. And what do? We go right into segregation. We go right in.
Yep.
We didn't honor it at all. We tried to come up with a new way to keep the old system.
Yeah, we just changes the sin, but still the same outlet. Outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like after 700,000 deaths, we still can't get it. Like, this is wrong. Like, the way we treat people is wrong. Racial inequality is wrong. All of these things. Can't get it. After 700,000 people are wiped away in their generation. Now, you couldn't walk into any small town and didn't know somebody that had lost, a brother, a father, a son, multiples. That's hard for us to fathom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true. And to think that we came out of that and didn't learn much, and tried to come up with this new and let it happen. There were plenty of good people that just let it happen. Out of what, we're going to compromise this again, so that we don't fall back into another civil war, so we don't have to have this argument anymore, because there might be some profit to be made from it. Whatever it was like we didn't really solve the problem.
No, just changed it.
We just changed the name. A slave became a sharecropper. And actually it not only affected African Americans, but white people became sharecroppers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they were pretty much a slave to that system. They were kept poor by that system. We didn't learn. And we could point to so many different things. Like, we're not learning. God has showed his hand I don't know how many times, and we're just like, well, but wait, we got another way. Just let us try it our way.
Yeah, this is going to be better.
This is going to be better. Just give us some time. Just, everybody will profit from this. It'll keep everybody.
It's almost like we look at it as, everyone will profit for it. Yeah, right now. Are we looking like, how is the future going to profit for it? Like, how is society going to still profit off of this plan after all of the changes in the next upcoming 100 years, all the advances? Like, we need to think forward and ahead this time around, not in the now, the now and forward. That way our generations will be okay,
I know Dale had posted online, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he's really confused about some of the racial inequality, how we can let, he just doesn't understand how, if an African American does something, it has one reaction. If a white person does something, it has a different reaction.
Yes.
And he tries to see things equal, but he still just can't quite understand why other people can't see it equally. I think, well, again, it's that stone we threw in the lake long time ago. That's the racial inequality and the racial hate and all those things. It's an original sin that we've started. And guess what? It continues to travel on because we refuse to do the right thing.
Yeah.
We refuse to do it. But I would say to Dale, because I think one of his questions is, why still can't people see African Americans as equal?
Mm-hmm.
And what I would say is, you know what, Dale? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
We're all not equal.
Yeah, we can't.
Because I would look at somebody and say, am I equal to Ray Charles?
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Ray Charles is above and beyond, way more talented than me.
Yeah.
Became way more successful than me. Hank Aaron, am I equal to Hank Aaron? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
He is, to me, he's just a fantastic human being in everything that he accomplished.
Yeah.
So sometimes the reality is, we're not talking about the color of our skin. We're talking about the color of our character and who we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Hank Aaron, and he's, you're right, he's not equal to the white man. He's above them, a lot of white men, because of who he was, what he had to go up against, and all the things that he accomplished.
Right.
So I don't know if that helps, but sometimes that's the harsh reality of it is if we're looking for this total equality, which I can't even understand why we haven't figured it out, why it's even an issue. Mm-hmm. I just with everything that we've seen, with all the proof that we have, there should be no question that the color of somebody's skin should, prevent you from being equal to another man for any reason.
It's absolutely.
Yep.
We all
because like I said, Hank Aaron may be the best baseball player of all time, in my opinion. Not just because he broke the home run record. You look at his numbers, all of them, they're unbelievable. Mm-hmm. They're just unbelievable. And so it's like, yeah, you're right. He is not equal to a lot of the white baseball players that he played with because he's far and above those people. Mm-hmm. And to me, that puts it to rest for all time. I'm like, nobody else got to explain anything to me. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's the thing. He just didn't do it on this even plane. He did it with all these people against him that didn't want him to be that great. Mm-hmm. That tried to hold him back and tried to keep him out of the majors, all of those things. So yeah, he accomplished all those great things in the face of all this.
Yeah.
It's just so. I just wanted to say that to Dale if he's listening, that don't focus so much on worrying about if people are ever going to get it, this whole equal thing. Because guess what? They're probably not. Mm-mm. Not going to see it in our lifetime.
No.
But you got to take it in your heart that you're like, you know what? You're right. No. Sometimes the black man is not equal to the white man because he's greater. Yeah. Based on, character.
I'm going to say.
And what he's been able to accomplish in the face of unfortunate things.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of the MLB, like look at the NFL right now. Like, I don't know what the percentage of African American players are, but I mean, at least, and I'm not comparing it, but I think the NFL far greater because of the African Americans, like far greater. It's honestly,
no contest.
Honestly, any professional sports, really, but.
Yeah. No. And it's not that athleticism should have
equal value.
Equal value, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, you don't just go. He didn't just step up to the plate, start swinging a bat, and become the home run king.
Yeah.
No, he had to work very hard at it, and in the face of opposition, he had to do it.
Yes.
So that tells me it's like no normal person. I don't care how talented you are, could have done that. It took somebody with a lot of courage, a lot of heart, a lot of strength, determination, all of those things. All the things that we value in a human being, he displayed them all to get to where he was. Yeah. So there's no excuse for this idea that we're not equal, other than to say, you know what, you're right, we're all not equal. Yeah. We're just not.
But somebody instilled that in him. Mm-hmm. So as a child growing up, and as parents, are we lacking putting that in our children?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just comes down to we're not pushing them hard enough anymore. We're not pushing them towards God. We're not having that structure. We're just saying, yeah, whatever you feel you are, okay. That's what you are. That's not the job of a parent to do that.
No.
You got that one lady's like, we need to listen more to our children. When they speak, we need to listen. Huh? Yeah, we need to listen to our kids.
Listen.
When something's wrong, when they need comfort.
I think we need to listen and give them good counsel.
Yes. But
good godly counsel. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I told everybody, I said, if my parents would have listened to me when I was 10, I loved the Ninja Turtles. I thought I was a Ninja Turtle. Yeah. And if they'd have let me go to the hospital and tattoo my skin green and surgically put a shell on my back, I would have went in a heartbeat.
You've been knocking people to get in line. Huh?
Absolutely.
Cooper would be Spidey. Yeah. Not Spider-Man, Spidey. Which is the little guy.
Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, go ahead, Cooper, jump off that building.
Yeah, go for it.
Spin your web.
Get some webs embedded into your wrists.
Go ahead. Yeah, try to jump from that building to the other building. No, that's where we've gone wrong.
Yeah,
it's like no, we need to instruct our children, and they need to do listen. They need to listen.
He needs to watch George of the Jungle. Finds out about jumping.
Listen.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. Yeah, we had that when they
Roslyn
made a
broke
foolish
my
decision
heart last weekend. She said, "I'm not going to go to church with you anymore." I said, "Why? My mommy don't go to church." I said, "Well, then I guess you won't be staying all night with Grandma on Saturday, will you? Because if you're at Grandma's house on Sunday morning, you're going to church.
And then you can't stay with me during the week because you have school. So I don't know when you're going to be able to stay with me."
She thought a little bit. She said, "I'll go. I'd miss Adeline and Emerald."
And that's such a big, is such a big part of it is the fellowship that you grow up with. Which, going back to Taylor Robinson, you think, okay, he obviously did not have whatever fellowship was necessary.
Yeah.
To keep him where he was supposed to be, because at the end of the day, this kid's a child.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he's to blame for the action, but I truly believe that there's a lot of underlying, problems or things that have, gone unnoticed or just, being led astray to the point where, he wasn't listening to the right people. He didn't have the right structure. And it's, so like I said, I don't look at him with hate. I look at him with, almost regret and empathy and a bit of sadness that, a kid that young has been placed in that position. Now I can't say, oh, just forgive him and let him free. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We as a society, there does have to be rules and structure and true justice to things, but we can still forgive him.
Yeah.
Because we can look at this from that perspective that, we can pray not only for him, but for a lot of the other kids that are experiencing these same things that may be leading them to go out and do something similar. Mm-hmm. This is not going to be the last time we see something like this, unfortunately. I don't think so.
Unfortunately, you see that copycat syndrome again.
And it's just the society that we're living in. And I think that all goes back to the school shootings. I mean, when we were young, we just didn't see this type of thing. You never, as kids, we never even thought about such a thing. And we had kids that we did not like. I don't want to use the word hate, but, we just, you knew that kid was a bad seed and you knew he was going to pick on you or pick on your friend. And and kids could go to blows with each other and just really have it out. But we never had that mindset. It just didn't exist. And you think, okay, so where does that come from? Does it just come from the fact that guns are more accessible? No.
No, because they're going to find another way.
I can tell you, my dad was an avid hunter when I was a kid, and there were probably at least 10 or more guns in our home at any given time, and I knew where they all were.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I was brought up to respect them in the first place. I understood what they could do, the harm they could inflict, and for the true purposes of why we used them. So it's not a gun problem.
Nope.
So many of these things are not.
No more than a fork is a problem, a society problem because somebody's fat.
Yeah.
Right.
How much they choose to use that for.
Yeah.
And what they're putting on that for.
Pastor Michael said it's a heart problem.
It is, 100%.
A lot of the things that we're experiencing, it is a heart problem. It's just that simple. And again, if you understand God and you follow Christ, you can see it.
And if you realize, hey, my heart, like I'm numb to a lot of things that I didn't used to be numb to, or I don't have feelings about. Go talk to somebody because something is wrong.
Exactly.
Please go talk to somebody because you could be the next shooter, and I don't want that happening.
Yeah. Because I'm going to guess. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think when he first did it, when he fired that shot and he saw Charlie go down, I bet you he had a lot of satisfaction. But I bet you even before he got off that roof and his feet hit the ground,
regrets.
I'm guarantee everything out. Reality started sitting in.
Well, I mean, he said he was planning on going to grab the gun, and then it was just like the other side of town was just in a panic and very crowded, so then he couldn't go back and get it. So like, yeah, I'm sure his brain was just all over the place as soon as he did it and wasn't thinking, hey, I'm sure his plan almost even went out the window because his thoughts were like, crap, what did I just do? All of a sudden,
it was, to me, it's almost like the devil revealed it to him as soon as it happened. Like, here's what you really did.
Yeah.
Here's what I got you to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, nobody's come forward to say, yeah, we helped you. We helped him. Sorry. No, they're going to leave him, unless they get caught, they're going to leave him to take the blame for it all. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just, it's hard to fathom I can't imagine being in that child's place. It's just, I saw his first arraignment today, and you just look on his face. You just, whether he even still thinks he did, I don't know. Whether he still thinks he did the right thing but your face doesn't look like that when you're proud, when you can say that you're truly at peace, you're proud, that you're happy. You don't look like that.
Yeah.
And
no.
So even if he still thinks and somehow he did the right thing, I guarantee you that's not what his soul is telling him. There's going to be a part of his soul that's just, it's just he's torn in two. I just can't imagine being in that position, knowing that you had your whole life in front of you, and that's the decision you made, and it's just so unfortunate. But we cannot. We can't move forward and do the right things if we look at this in terms of retribution and revenge, and
absolutely not.
That ripple effect is just, and that's a hard thing to tell people. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. If they, it's just, but we got to make them hear it. That's the thing. We can't be afraid to say.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We can't be afraid to say that this is how you should really, that you need to seek God before you think about any type of judgment or retribution or anything like that.
I think through all this, it's opened my eyes to my walk with Christ. Am I putting him first in everything I do in my life? Any decisions I make, do I seek counsel from him first?
Yeah.
Do the people I know outside of the church know that I follow Christ?
Right.
Am I representing him?
Yeah.
The way that he would expect to be represented?
I think the glory is when you're walking with Christ. I think the glory of the Lord shines around you when you are out in the world, and people see that.
Yeah,
I've had
they do.
I've had. You'll have people smile at you, or you have no idea who they are. You're just minding your own business, walking through the store, and they'll look at you and smile and nod or whatever. So they see where you're at with the Lord.
Yeah, I've known some people. I'll be walking down a store aisle or something, and the person looks miserable, or the person looks like they don't really approach other people, or and you look at them, and at first you think they're not going to smile back, and then you smile, and then they smile back at you, and it kind of almost throws you off a little bit because you think the person really looks miserable, or they just think like nobody notices that
they needed that smile.
So it's just such a simple thing, like he said, that people they probably walked past everybody else that kept their head down, or looked right past them, and all you did is look them in the eye and smile, and they can tell that you're different, that you're not just, and I don't know, maybe, that has its own ripple effect.
Yeah.
That's kind of the counter to it all, is that, we need to be, I guess we need to be throwing gummy bears in the lake instead of rocks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody will have to come up with something smarter than that on the fly. But it's just that's the. I think it was RFK Sr. who said there has to be a ripple of hope. I think one of his famous speeches was the ripple of hope. And that's how we have to counter that, the ripple of sin, is we have to put our own, we have to put those things out there and let them carry on, to have peace and hope and understanding. And
I think that's what Christ is expecting us to do through this.
Yeah.
He's want us.
Well, and he's expecting us to be active.
Exactly.
It's very easy. I think for this podcast, even, it puts it even more in perspective for me as, we come here every week, we do our thing, we put it online. Great. We do it are we doing it out of routine? I hope not. Mm-mm. And then after this, I think we can't do this out of routine.
Mm-mm. No.
Well, just like some of the subjects that we were discussing back and forth in the text, and it's not the time to
shy away from
these things.
No,
it's not
we just can't pick a safe topic and make people feel better. And just keep doing it every week.
Of the topics that need to be discussed are the ones that will reflect me directly. I mean,
yeah.
And
if it affects you, it affects somebody else.
Yeah. And that's a hard walk.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. But people need to hear those things. We're not going to help anybody just by having these lofty topics that are just like, we got through another one. We sounded good.
Sugarcoat everything. And
Yeah, that doesn't help anybody.
Unicorns and butterflies. And
actually show the non-believers, if they are listening, that, hey, we do deal with things, and we are trying to face them head on and trying to encourage others during the process.
And we can invite somebody onto the show who does have doubts. And we're not afraid of that. We're not going, we can't put him on because
right.
He might not be a Christian. No, we probably need to get more people in this chair that are not Christians. That would be more useful.
Yep.
Over the long run than filling the chair with a believer. Yeah. Because we've already got them.
Right.
No, that's easy.
Yeah.
So we need to be reaching out to people that are having doubts, that that are facing those.
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Future Charlie Kirk.
No. Well, it's just that idea. And that's what this whole experience over last week makes you see, is that, there is true purpose in what we do. And no, nobody's ever going to be a Charlie Kirk.
No.
Nobody's going to just come in and fill those shoes and be able to do what he did. I mean, what he did was just, nobody else can do that.
That's such a young age.
Yeah.
Young age.
Yeah.
I know.
But that doesn't mean what we're doing isn't important, because we're all after the same thing. And he reached millions and millions of people, but he might not have reached your son.
Yeah.
Right.
He might not have, because a lot of people are like, I don't even know who Charlie Kirk is. And a lot of people didn't know who he was until he was killed.
But they do now.
They do now.
And how many people is he still reaching out to by their searching out and watching things on YouTube or listening to him
he will
talk,
for all time.
And they're like, wow, you know?
Yeah. But we're doing the same thing. Now, we're not on that level. We're not, and we may never be. But if we even just get one person to consider it, to change their lives and do it, then we've accomplished our mission. We didn't give up on it. We didn't just do this for the sake of, hey, we're a church and we got a podcast. Cool.
Yeah.
That's not why we're doing it. And that's just what it's put in perspective for me, is that, when I come in and do this, I do want to have true purpose. I do want to reach more people. And I want to do things that, aren't not always safe, not always, comfortable, but that we do talk about things that people do need to hear.
Yeah.
And you can't waffle around this idea of being Christians. We can't just be like, well, I want to be a Christian, but I want to walk around without anybody knowing it.
Yeah.
I want to help people, but I don't want to do it in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
I just want to help people. You can't do that. You just can't. Because let's face it, there's too much at stake.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because as I said, I believe that there is this war going on, and it is being fought, and it's up to us to, rally as many people as we can to our side. But we're not going to do that with just good deeds alone. Mm-mm. Just because I help an old lady across the street because I want to be a good person. Yeah, great. It's a good thing. But it didn't do anything for the kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Kind of makes me think about, how after the rapture, how many people are going to be left sitting on that pew?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they thought that they were doing everything right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they really never broke down and had that personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
No. And it's not about perfection.
And knew him on a one-on-one, or he knew them one-on-one.
Yeah.
He already knows us one-on-one. He knows what we're thinking.
Sure.
We know, that little sin that we think nobody else seen. Guess who's seen it?
Yeah, exactly.
The one we're accountable to.
Yep.
Like I said, we're not perfect, and we're not we're not trying to reach that level of, it'd be great if we could all reach that level of perfection. But that's not the important thing. Important thing is we get people to Christ. We can work out the kinks later.
Exactly.
You can keep, everybody's going to keep working. That's what needs to be said, is no matter how long you've been doing this, whether, you've been in the church your whole life or you just started yesterday, everybody's working. True. And if you're not working, then you better have somebody reveal that to you, that the work's not over yet. So you can never get comfortable in your walk. It's just, that's not what we're here to do. And so many things are at stake. Our country itself is at stake over this. And I truly believe that. We can look at the Bible. How many times do God's people go back into slavery? Get bought out by, the next, superpower. And then they get released. Once again, they get their land back. Then it happens to them all over again. Yep. I mean, God's own people.
By the sins of their fathers.
That ripple of sin have created a point where, how could you let yourself go back into slavery? If you understand what slavery is and how bad it is, how could you ever let yourself get to that point? But people get complacent. People think, we've done our work. We've made all the mistakes. God will just lay low and let us be. But life doesn't work that way.
No.
So, we have to always be doing the work. And next year is 250 years that this country, has existed. And we're just a baby. We're just a baby compared to China, to Russia, to Britain, to all these other superpowers that have come and gone. Egypt is gone. Rome is gone. Persian Empire is gone. And they thought they would never disappear. They thought they would rule forever. And we're just a baby.
Yeah.
And it can be taken away. And it can be taken away by the hand of God. If he doesn't favor us, he'll find somebody else to favor.
Yeah.
So if we're falling, and we're only going to do it by, he's not going to make us do it. He's not going to take it from us. We're going to give it up. We're going to fall out of that favor if we're not doing the right things and seeking his counsel first. And, that's the job that every, government official, I believe, has in this country. But it's clear that that's not happening. Yeah. And perhaps it's never happened. Yes, we've had a few good men, I think, that have understood it or grew to understand it.
Yeah.
I definitely think that with in Lincoln, he grew to understand that God had his hand in his work and what he was doing. But there's not a whole lot of people that get to that point. I think Martin Luther King Jr. was another one. As he said, I've been to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
So if I don't, he goes, I'd love to live a long life. He says, but I've been to the mountaintop. So if it ends today, I know I've completed my mission, and I know I've, but there's not too many men that can truly, I think, say that in their hearts, that they were trying to seek God in all things.
Yeah.
To do his will of what's supposed to happen in this country, and not just what's best for profit, best for,
themselves.
Yeah. Power.
Yeah.
All those things. So it's still all in the balance. It can go either way. And that's what a lot of young people have to understand. That's what we have to get our young people to understand, is that it can go either way. And as I said last week, it's this young generation that's going to pay the price.
Yeah.
The ripple effect of the sin. I'm 45. Yeah, I could still see the effects. I could still experience some of the effects, but it's not going to be rested upon my shoulders, because we all know when people go to war, when things get terrible, it's the young people that generally have to pay that price.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what young people need to understand, is the things that you're doing now may affect your children.
Yep.
It may affect you. I think about it with Maggie and her friends in her class. It's like they're 14, they're freshmen. Who's to say in 4 years?
That's what I was about to say.
We're not in a world war.
Yeah.
And her class is going to have to be the one to be drafted and answer for this ripple of sin that, just that we continue to just, play into.
Yeah.
So if we don't understand that and we fall out of God's favor, anything can happen.
Yep.
Nothing is certain without God. Which is why I think you do see a lot of young people so restless, searching. And I see that in a lot of young people that are falling into these things that are not of God's will. It's like you can tell they say that they've identified themselves, but you can see they're just still searching because they still want people to accept them. They still want, they just want more. They're always looking and looking and looking. And they realize you don't have to look that far.
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody's, I think, a Christian, because you're not looking so much. You're not searching and searching and searching. You found what you're looking for. Yes, you still have to deal with the problems of the world. Yes, you still have to deal with the events of your life and the challenges that you face. But your feet's on good ground. And you're not searching anymore for answers. You just, you can endure a lot more things without having to try and go out and, feeling lost and, feeling like the whole world's against you and you keep making the same mistakes and you just can't ever get, you just can't ever get past it. You can't ever get ahead. That's what has to be understood, I think, in young people and where we are right now.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone have any other thoughts? Roger?
I'm good.
Any last dancing advice or,
Nick, I used to
what's the number one most important thing in dancing? What's the number one, rule?
Don't fall down.
Keep your feet moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, was they're doing what they're supposed to or not? Keep them moving. Get her done.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
I think you can apply that to life. Just keep your feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all gotta. That's the thing. We all gotta keep moving.
That's why
swimming.
That's why I'm still going.
Yeah.
I just keep my feet moving. And God's pushing me. He's holding me up now. Before he was pushing me, now he's pushing me and holding me up.
Well, Margie, she had to do the stress test, and they put you on the treadmill.
Oh, the treadmill?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then how it goes up and up, and up on the incline. And she's like, even when she wasn't feeling well, she's like, I'm going to beat this treadmill.
It
was a challenge. And she's like, so she texts me after she's done. She's like, I beat that treadmill. And I'm like, my goodness, and of course the nurse was like, you did really well. And I tell her, I said, you know what? I think it's because when we were kids, we had to do that physical fitness test in gym. Remember those? Like you had to do all those different skills. I think that's why our generation is different, because we had to do those. Like kids today, you don't have which I think Trump's trying to reinstate the presidential.
I had to do
challenge, but. Yeah, I think that made us different kids, because you didn't want to be embarrassed and not be able to climb the pegboard
or the
rope.
I don't remember any of this.
Really?
Well, President Kennedy is the one who enacted that, and so I would assume that all kids from
know that did that.
So, yeah.
I probably did.
Huh.
I just don't remember. Probably because I didn't do well.
Did you skip gym?
That's what I was thinking.
Every opportunity I could. I was that chubby girl.
I had to take summer school, or I wouldn't graduate, because I skipped gym and failed it. So I had to go to summer school.
What is going on?
We're wrapping up.
Sorry.
Michael's coming in yelling at us. We were really wrapping up, I promise.
I knew Roger wouldn't have left without his next.
You're right.
Well, whose turn is it to pray?
It's Nick.
That's mine.
It is Nick. Okay. Michael, if you got it in you. All right.
Lord, thank you for letting us come here tonight so we can express our love and our gratitude and our acceptance of your will.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Always help us keep in mind that no matter what we are doing, no matter how chaotic the world gets, everything that we're facing now as a community, as a country, that we look to you first.
Yes.
That always has to be our number one priority. And I pray that it always is my first priority. And I pray that everyone around this table will pick up that sword as well and carry it. And I just hope that anybody out there is listening realizes that you never have to be lost. You never have to question who you are. You never have to be searching for anything else but the heart of God.
Yes.
And we just love you. We just appreciate everything that you do for us every single day.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
And we're always looking for what we can do for your kingdom next. I pray all these things in your precious name. Amen.
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 Hey friends, Pastor Michael again. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you should consider joining us on Sunday mornings. Our address is 1943 North Water Street Extension in Yorksville. We'd love to have you join us for an in-person service.